today we are going to do another backtesting session. And the strategy that we have been testing is based on daily candlesticks. So we take a look at the daily chart. So our time frame is 1 day. And the idea here is that we are going to project for the next day. We are looking at what the market direction will be for the following day. What are we going to look at? What levels would be good to trade from? So at this point, we're not refining the strategy so much, but we are just looking at taking a guess, basically looking for market direction. So the first thing we need to know before we can trade is the market direction. If we can get our market direction correctly, then everything else kind of comes from there. So market direction is the first thing that we need to figure out. And once that falls into place, then we can look for entries and a trade setup from there on. So that's exactly what we are here for. So right now we are testing the pound US dollar daily chart. That's what we'll be working with. So we had previously been going and doing this or working through this chart. So at this point, we are at our support level here. We have gone into our previous support resistance level, and we are going to look at, excuse me, what's going to happen next. And the way this works is very, very simple. We're just looking at the last previous candlestick, and based on that, we're going to guess or look at where the price is going to go next. So in this case, so two different things we need to look at. One is the shape of the candlestick, and the second one is our support resistance levels. So those are the two things we focus on. Very, very simple in terms of the strategy. There's not a whole lot of complications here. We're not looking at too many indicators, just essentially naked chart here, nothing else in it. And we are going to guess from that. So as we are live on Facebook here in the Facebook group, if you would like to join in this exercise, please put that in the comments and you can then take a guess. And we can take it from there. So there's a question, how do you avoid a confirmation based when analyzing your trade? So I'm not sure I understand the question too well there. Yes, could you please repeat the question maybe in a different way? How do you avoid confirmation based when analyzing your trade? Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question. Okay, so we'll get back to that. So if anybody wants to participate as we go move forward here, essentially what you have to do is you have to just guess what the next candle will be, whether the bias will be up or down or what we expect it to go. How do I avoid a confirmation bias when analyzing my trades? I'm still not sure, because with the daily candlestick strategy here, we are looking for a bias. So I want to develop a bias for the following day. And my bias would either be bullish or bearish. And based on that, I'm going to take a trade. So let's get started here. And we have, we'll get started here. So we have pound US dollar, we are into the support. So based on the link here, based on the pin here, we are into support. So I would expect price to maybe try this level once again and then push up from there. So I'm looking for price to struggle at this. So overall, the bias is to the downside. But now, because we are into support and because of this large pin on the on this candle here, so I am looking for price to maybe try it once again and then push up from here. So bias is to the downside, but I'm looking for price to push up after testing the low. So let's see if we get that. Okay, so here we are. It didn't quite make it to the bottom here. It has pushed up. So this is a bullish candle close. So it's not hugely bullish, but it's bullish regardless. So we could see price come and maybe test the level higher into 154.40 level here. So I'm looking for price to go up a bit here. So let's see if it does that. So it doesn't quite, it's just hovering around. So in this case, this would not be the best trade setup, in my opinion. This is when I would look at a different daily chart and do it from there, as opposed to trading this particular chart. So what we are trying to do with our daily market analysis is essentially we look at multiple different pairs, and based on those, on the type of candles we see, we are looking for price to so we were looking to take a trade, and if the candle setup is not the right one, so on one particular chart, then we can always go on to a different chart to find a trade. So again, if anybody wants to participate, let me know. So call out your guess, what the guess will be in terms of where the next candlestick is going to go, and we'll play this game. So right now we see we see that price is into the support level here, and now we have a pin here, we have a candle. So I think it could go higher. It could go into this previous support resistance level, into right into there, 1.55, right into the support and resistance level, just about 1.55, or it can go back and test. Okay, so Schumann says it's gonna go up. So let's take a look. Thank you for your call there. Let's take a look. There you go. Good job. So we are back into this previous support and resistance level. Nice, big, solid candle close. What's next? Where do we expect the price to go? Anybody want to take a guess for the next one? So we're going to keep on going. So keep throwing your guesses in the chat there. Okay, so we have pulled up. So that's a good solid candle close. Our next support and resistance level is right up here. So I will look for price to push into the high of this previous candle. So let's take a look. So bias is still to the upside. There we are. So it pushes through that, goes into the next support and resistance level here. Okay, so the answer here, let's clarify a little bit, because when we say things, I do need a little bit more a reference point. So still bullish. Okay. So when Socrates, you're saying rebounds, what do you mean by that? If you could please clarify that. So right now we are looking bullish. So if you take a look back, zoom out a bit, the next support and resistance level is higher up here, still up. Okay, let's take a look. So looking for it to go higher. So we do have bullishness here. Okay, it drops. We are into this previous support and resistance. Okay, now which way do we expect it to go? What's the next one? So it looks like it's pulled back a bit. Where do we expect the market to go? Up, down. Okay, so if this was a daily chart under the live market conditions, I would not, again, trade this one, because the challenge with this particular, the way the candles look on this one, is that we have a bullish candle with a pin on top, and we have a bearish candle with a pin on the bottom. So overall move is to the downside. So what I would be looking for will be a price to give us some confirmation as to where it's going. So this particular candlestick is not the best one to take trade from. This one here is a solid bullish candlestick. This one is a solid bearish candlestick, but this one is half-half. So we have half bearishness, half a pin price pushing up. So this is sideways. So this is when we have to wait for another day. So let's see. So now it has moved up. So now where do we expect it to go? Up. Okay, so looking for price to go into this 1.5600 level. So let's see if it does that. Now do keep in mind that we are running into resistance here. So we could see price run into trouble. So let's take a look if it will go up into testing this 1.5600 level here. So ready? Let's go. There we go. It goes and tests this level once again. So now we have a good solid candle close. And now what do we expect it to do? Where do we expect the price to go next? Okay, who wants to take a guess here? Okay, so far it's looking good. All right, so no guesses, so let's take a look. So we are into resistance here. What I will look for price to do is potentially push up a little bit higher, but I am looking for price to have some trouble in this area. For it to be really effective, we need to see a close above this level here. So it has to close above 5,600 for it to continue higher. So Socrates, you're right. It came into trouble here, into this resistance level. So we are down. And now where do we think it's going to go? Okay, now this is becoming fun. So overall, the move has been to the downside. We hit a support level at the bottom. Price pushed up, and now it's struggling at this resistance level. So where do we expect the price to go next? Okay, for me, I would expect it to go down actually. So it looks like we have done a pullback. So now I'm looking for it to come down towards the bottom here to see if it will come test the level. However, if the price closes bullish on the other side here, then we are looking for price to go continue higher, potentially into the next support and resistance level up here. So right now, because it's held below this, I am going to look for a down move here. So let's see if we get that. So it drops, but then it closes bullish here. So now we are back into this bullishness here. Now what do we guess? Up. Okay, so I'm looking for it to retest. Yep. Let's take a look. There we go. So now we have a big solid candle close on the other side, looking very, very bullish here. So what's the next guess? Where do we expect the price to go now? So in this case, we have broken through this resistance where price struggled for a number of days. And finally, we have a very solid candle close. So now we'll be looking for price to move up higher based on this candlestick. So now it can have a pullback though. Very good, Socrates there. It can have a pullback, and then we will be looking for price to push up higher. So good, the bias is bullish here. All right, so let's see if we get that. So we have, it has moved up, so a bit of a pullback. So now where do we expect it to go? Do we think it's going to go up still? Everybody is in for up. Okay, so I will say up as well. I'm still looking for price to continue higher. Let's see if we get that. Now we do have to recognize we are into support resistance level here. So, we just have to keep that in mind because price had trouble here. So now we need the price to close to the other side for the up move to continue here. There we go. So we are back into that. Now where do we expect the price to go? Are we still looking for up, down? Okay, so let's see if the price will go up once again. Here you go. Now we have, so it went down, it went up, and then closed right in the middle. So this is a very, very neutral candle close. And this is, again, one of those times where we need to see what the price will give us, what the market will give us, because we don't have a solid candle close in either direction. So this one could go either way. So we need to see where it closes. If it closes to the upside bullish candle above this previous support resistance level, then we're looking for it to go higher. And then the next support and resistance level we would target for will be the one up here. But if it closes bearish, then we're looking for a move to the downside. So right now, this is very neutral. So let's see what the next one brings us. Here we go. That's a nice bearish candle close. Now, Schumann says down. Who else wants to take a guess here? Where do we think the price will go next? Any guesses? Okay, so I have one down. And I will say for me as well, I would be looking for a down move here. It could pull back a bit, but looking for price to go down here. So let's take a look. Down. Okay, two people saying down. Awesome. Let's take a look. Okay, so it moved down, not a huge drop, but still moved down. So that's good. Where are we looking for it to go now? So we have just managed to close below this previous support and resistance level. Yeah, still bearish. Okay, perfect. So I am still bearish on this as well. Let's see if it drops. It drops a little bit. So candles are getting quite small now. Now where are we expecting it to go? Still bearish. Okay, Socrates down. All right, let's take a look. Okay, now we are closing bullish. It struggled with this level once again. So now where do we expect it to go? We have a bullish candle close here. So in this case, Shuman, I am just looking for the stop would go on the other side of the daily candle close. So let's say we were looking for price to go higher here. The stop would be on the other side. So normally what I would do is go to a lower time frame and I look for a pullback level for a price to take an order, and then I'm looking for price to go higher. So the stop would go on the other side. Okay, so looking for price to go higher. Yeah, I'm looking for it to go back into the support resistance level as well. Let's take a look. Okay, now we're getting a bearish candle close. So this one didn't play out because we got stuck right into the pins here, right into these pins. So now we are into, we have closed below this support and resistance level. We have a bearish candle close. Now where do we expect the price to go? Okay, so no guesses. Any guesses? Where do we expect the price to go with this one? This one is one that I would trade. I do like this. This is a nice bearish candle close. It's below our previous support resistance level. Price has moved up higher and then it's pulled back. Then this is where we are looking at. So price is nice and bearish here. So I would be looking for price to go lower actually, because it is holding below the support and resistance area. And this type of a trade setup here, this one's called railroad tracks reversal. So in the railroad tracks trade setup, we get a bullish candle and then a bearish candle, or it could be the other way around if it's going up. So this is the railroad tracks reversal. So let's take a look. So I'm looking for price to come back down into this area over here. So let's see if we get that. So there we go. Price drops. We are back into this previous support and resistance area. Now where do we expect the price to go? What's our next move? So in this case, I do like the candlestick. And Shuman, to answer your question, you were talking about the entry and stop loss here. So see this pullback here. So price moves up higher. So this is where I'm looking for price to pull back before I take an entry short. And then I will be looking for price to move lower. And then you can put your stop on the other side of the candle. So that's how you would actually trade that strategy. But we are still on the first step where all we're doing is just guessing. So we're just looking for just the next candle, because if you can get good at figuring out the market direction, then we can look at entries and exits from that point on. So in here, I do like this. Yeah, it has a pin on top, so kind of like a pin bar, large body though, but still a bearish here. So I'm looking for price to drop back into this 154.50 level here, see if we can get there. So my bias is bearish. Let's see if it drops. No, it does not drop. So very, very bullish engulfing candle close here, and it engulfs this previous price action to the left hand side. So it doesn't quite make it to the support, just turns around around from there. So now we have a bullish candle close. And what are we looking for now? Any guesses? Okay, so based on this bullish engulfing candle close, I'm going to take a guess to the upside. I will be looking for price to come back and test the 157.50 level again. Let's see if we get that. So it moves up, but small move to the upside. So I am still looking for further move higher here. Let's see if we get that. Oh, that one didn't do much. Let's try once again. Oh, and we got a bearish drop here. So it looks like some of our data is missing in the program. The program that I'm using here is called Forex Tester 3. So that's the one that I am using. We do have a link for this. If you would like to buy this program, there is I have an affiliate link here where you get a discount if you join it through that link. But that's an option if you want to do the Forex testing on your own. But of course, you can follow along here with me as well. All right, so we're looking for so let's see where it's going to go. So now it looks like we have dropped. Let's see, where are we going to go now? So based on this, I think we could get a pullback and then a drop. Let's see if it will go. Do that. There we go. Pull back tiny bit and dropped. So now we have a bearish candle close. Where do we expect the price to go next? Okay, so let's take a look. Where do we expect it to go next? All right, so what I see on the chart here is we have a bearish candle close. We are into support, so we'll have to be a little bit careful here, but my bias still stays to the downside. So we have had a lower high. So our swing point has moved lower now. So looking for price to drop further. Now it could pull back before it drops again, but my bias is to the downside here. So I'm bearish. Go up. Let's take a look. We are into support here, so it could go up. Let's take a look. I'm still looking for it to drop into this support before it pushes up higher. Oh, you guys are right. It went up. So we are getting stuck here at this previous level here into this. So now we have a bullish candle close. Where do we expect it to go? Where to from here? All right, so since we have a bullish candle close, I'm looking for price to push back higher, back into this support and resistance level right over here. So looking for it to move higher into that. So let's see if that happens. Oh, it doesn't do much. Okay, once again, poor data here. Okay, so it looks like it dropped. It didn't quite make it all the way there. We have a nice drop here. So now we are past that support level. We have dropped here. So make sure you see where the cursor is. It's back down here. So it looks like our data consistency is not there in this one. So we are missing some data point in the candle, but it looks like we have dropped here. So my guess would be to the downside. Oh, it moves all the way up. So now we are getting this back and forth moves here, bullish candle close. I'm looking for a pullback and potentially a move up higher. So in terms of the take profit targets, I look for the next support and resistance level. And then we will take a, sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Okay, so for take profit target, there's a question about where do we take the profit. So I would look at the next support and resistance levels as a take profit targets. All right, so the next one here, what are we looking for? So we have a bullish candle close, and I'm not, and I'm looking for price to move up higher now based on the bullish candle close here. So let's see if it will go higher. There we go, moves up higher. Okay, so what do we guess next? Where do we think the price is going next? So who wants to venture a guess here? Okay, so in this case, we have a bullish candle close. We see a rejection. We saw a pullback, and then a nice bullish candle close. So I'm looking for price to go higher. Shimon says it's going to go higher. I'm with you. So I'm looking for price to go. Socrates says higher too. Perfect. So I am looking for higher as well. Let's see. There we are. It moves up higher. So now we're getting close to our resistance level there. So I am still looking for price to go and test this level higher. Let's see. We just don't have enough good data here. So let's go next. There we go. There's our bullish candle close. Now, where are we looking for? Up. Guy says up. Let's see. We ran into resistance here. So this support and resistance also plays an important role. So basically what we do is we tie our candlestick with our support resistance. So I'm always careful with support and resistance because sometimes it can really come to bite you. Okay, so now we have a bearish candle close, bearish engulfing candle close. What do we expect it to do? Okay, so at this point, because of the bearish candle close, we are into resistance. So if you take a look here, price hasn't been able to close above this level multiple times. So my guess will be to the downside. So I would be looking for price to drop back down. So let's take a look. There we go. Price drops. What's next? Any guesses where price is going next after this candle? So with this one, so we came into our resistance level, had a nice bearish engulfing candle close. So we take a look to the, so we look for a bearish move. And next one here, I would still look for a drop in this because the candle is good size. And the bottom here is where I'm looking for the price to go back to here. Bearish, yeah, I'm looking for price to drop. It drops a little bit, small candle close. So what about now? With this one here, I would still be looking for a drop, but now we have to be careful because prices struggled with this level and we keep going back and forth. So if we were to remove this, we can see that we are in a bit of a range here. Price, every time price goes into this high, it drops. Every time it comes into the bottom here, close to the bottom here, it tends to push up higher. So what I'm looking for here is price to drop further and see what price will do into the next support area. So my bias still stays bearish. So let's take a look. Okay, we are moving very slowly and kind of sideways. But what I do like about this one here is that we have two pins. We have two pins here to the downside. And now I'm looking for price to drop further. So still looking for price to drop into the support resistance area. Ooh, that went up. So it doesn't show the candle close here, but that's a bullish, big bullish candle close. So price is still struggling with this support level here. So now we have a big bullish candle close. So we are into the top of the range once again. And what do we expect now? So from here, I would be careful of this. I would be looking for price to come and test the next resistance level at 1.5720. The price is currently at 156.84. So I'm looking for price to test the high here, 157.24, 25 area. So let's see if we get that. So I'm looking for a further bullish push here. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, overall, we are still sideways. We haven't really gone very far. We are back into our resistance level here, and we see a pin on the top of the candle here. So with this one, this is when I would look for a different opportunity because we are into the same place that we were multiple times before. We've been sideways here. So this is another thing you can do with these type of things is you can go to a smaller time frame. So let's say go to a 1 hour time frame and see how price closes in relation to the resistance here, and then take a trade based on that, because basically we are into the top of the range And if the 1 hour entries were lower, then we could take the price down. Or if the price closes bullish here on the other side of the resistance on an hourly candle, then we can look for price to go into the next support and resistance level here. So that's how we can take a look at that. So let's see. So guy says higher close. Let's take a look. Goes sideways. Let's see. Now we are at that, still at that interesting level. We haven't seen a good solid close. I would like to see a nice close like this. That's not a very solid close. We do have bearishness in this candle, but I don't like the pin on in the bottom here. So this is, again, we need to see a close either on the top side of the resistance or below the resistance. So let's take a look. There we go. So now we have price closing back into the range here. Now, where do we want to guess? Where does the price go from here? Okay, who wants to venture a guess? Where do you think the price will go next? Okay, so my guess would be that we are, I would be looking for price to drop. So we are in this range trading here. So price has been going sideways for many days here. We are into the top of the range and a price has closed below here. So guy says up. All right, I'm looking for it to go lower. So let's take a look here. We've got battle going on. Okay, so Shun says down. Let's take a look. Goes down. So it respects the high of the range. And because the price is closed below the resistance, so we need to be able to clear the resistance to the other side for it to continue. Now it's getting stuck in a range for several weeks here. And now we're looking for price to, based on this candle, where are we looking for price to go to? What's next? So the next one here for me, I would be looking for price to come and test the bottom of the range. So we have the top of the range where price rejected. Now I'm looking for price to come towards the bottom of this range where price has tested this level multiple times. So looking for a drop. Let's see if we get that. Here we are. Looks it drops. And now where do we expect the price to go from here? Okay, from here, I would be looking for price to drop again. Looking for it to still come and test that level to the downside. So let's see if we get that. No, price pushes up. Now we have a bullish engulfing candle close. So overall, we are just going sideways here. And it's not really getting us much further. So I was looking for price to drop here, but we have a bullish candle close. So based on the bullish candle, especially since it's an engulfing candle close, I'm looking for price to go up higher to test the top of the range once again. And let's see if we get that. No, it just pulls back. So we're still looking for price to go higher here. Just now it's going sideways. So now we have sideways move. We have a pin. Now where do we expect the price to go? So in this case, because it seems like price is getting stuck at this level, so this support and resistance level, so I'd be looking for price to drop, but it can test this level once again. But then I'm looking for it to drop. So let's see if we get that. Oh, pushes up higher. And now this is starting to look bullish. So I would be looking for price to go back into the high of the range. Let's see if we get that. And it doesn't want to do anything. So we're just getting chopped sideways here. Not much happening. So with this one, we have a bearish candle close again. But important thing to note here is though it is staying below this previous support resistance level right into here. So based on this, I would look for price to move back down here. Let's see if we get that. And it doesn't. This is a real chop. So this is definitely the time where we want to be looking at a different chart. something that is less choppy and has more of a trending move. So the daily strategy is really good for trending market moves. When the price is going sideways, then we have to trade it potentially from a lower time frame, because the daily is just going back and forth. So if you were in this trade, you would have not gone anywhere. The trade would not have gone anywhere essentially over the last few days. You may still be in the trade, and it's just taking you back and forth. So with this one now, we have a bullish candle close. I'd be looking for price to go up higher. Excuse me, let's take a look. Looking for price to go up a bit. This is truly going sideways. Now, where do we expect the price to go? It pushed up a little bit and then closed with a little, this pin on top. So who wants to hazard a guess? Where do we think the price is going to go next? Okay, so let me make a guess on this one. I think price is likely to drop. So let's see if we get that. We get another pin, another doji here. So I am still looking for price to drop. Let's see if we can get that. Not much, but it's holding there. So I'm still looking for price to drop. So let's see if we get that. Oh, it goes up now. So now we are into the resistance once again. So in this case right now, it's just been slowly pushing to the upside. So it kind of looks like it's building up, but we need to see a close. In order to trade the break of the high, we need to look to the upside here. So let's take a look. Let's see if it'll go higher. No, we are closing below the resistance level again. We are at the top of the range, closes below the resistance. So now where do we expect the price to go from here? All right, so I will look for price to drop from here because we're in the top of the range. So now looking for price to drop. It hasn't done much, so just sideways pulls up a bit. So I'm still looking for a drop. And now we get a candle close above our previous resistance. Okay, so now this becomes bullish. So I'm looking for a pullback. So the way I would trade this would be I would look for a pullback, and then I would look for price to go up higher. So let's take a look. There we are. Now the price is very bullish, and where do we expect it to go next? What direction are we looking for price to go? Are we looking for it to go up or down from here? Okay, so I'm looking for a price to go up. Socrates says to the moon. Let's see. We are looking for price to let's take a look. So bullish here, so looking for it to continue higher. Let's see if we get that. That pulls back a bit, so the bias is still up, yeah. Starts to pull back, and now we are into this previous support resistance level. So this one could pull down a little bit, pull back a little bit more, but overall the bias hasn't changed from this one. So I'm looking for price to potentially drop right into the high of the range here and then go higher. So let's take a look. Very small, so still looking for it to come test the high over here. Okay, this is what I was looking for. So price drops into this previous support resistance level, the top of the range, goes right into the top of the range, and that resistance then turns into support. So now we are bullish. So let's say you missed this move to the upside. You cannot get the breakout range. This is the best way to trade this type of setup. So you look for the break. Let's say you weren't able to get into it. Instead of taking a long here, what we do is we wait for the price to come back and test the top of the range here again, but from the other side. So now instead of price being lower below it, now we're looking for price to be higher. So it stays higher here. Yeah, so now I'm looking for price to go up higher. Very good. So Guy, Schumann, Socrates, everybody says high on the retest. Yes. So Socrates, I'm looking for price to retest the same level here. And now it closes bullish. So looking for price to move up higher. So let's see if we get that. Sideways. Okay, still looking for price to go up. And we are not going up. So now we have, so it did go up a bit, but it did not get to the resistance level. So from here, where do we see the price going? Okay, so for me, we have a bearish candle close here. So I'm looking for price to drop further. Let's see. Stays above. So this is another thing. If price stays above this previous support and resistance level, that's very good. So it stays on the other side of the range. And this is part of the breakout trading as well. So if you're not taking the first breakout, which I don't recommend, but once you get some, like price stays above this level, now we're looking bullish. So we are sideways here because it's just traded in this range for several days. But now this is a good solid candle close. So from here, I would be looking for price to go up higher again. So let's take a look. Goes up a little high. Hasn't cleared the resistance yet. So we have to be careful with that one. There we are. So went and tested the high once again, and then closed below. So this is still a tradable opportunity, because if you take a look from where we were, we still have about 30 pips or so, but we were very close to the resistance, and now price has closed below the resistance. So where do we expect the price to go now? So we have a double top scenario here. We have first top here, second top. So we have two candles that have closed below this level. So I would look for price to drop actually, unless it closes with a solid candle close on the other side. Until such time, I'm looking for price to go down. Let's take a look. And it closes bullish. So now that we are closing bullish, we do have to be careful here because we are into resistance again. But the bias is shifting, is still wanting to go. It looks like it wants to go higher here. There we go. Now we have a close on the other side. Where do we expect the price to go now? Who wants to take a guess here? Okay, so I would be looking for price to go higher here. So let's see if it does that. There we go. Price goes higher. Now we are getting into our next support and resistance level, right into here. So now, yeah, Guy, I'm looking for price to go up higher as well. And we will have, I'm looking for price to go into the high. So let's see. Goes sideways, pulls back a bit. I'm still looking for it to go higher. There we go. We are into the high there. Now we are closing on the other side of the resistance, which is great. So looking for one more up higher, Guy. That's good. Anyone else wants to take a guess? Excuse me. All right. So we have a good solid candle close, looking for price to go higher. Let's take a look. We don't quite have a doji yet, but I am looking for price to go higher into that type of support and resistance area right over there. So let's take a look. There we are, goes right into our target level that we have mentioned here. So now we are bullish. We are into the next support and resistance level. Now, what do we expect here? Okay, so in this case, I would see if price will do another move to the upside, but we are into this resistance, so let's be careful. The candle's getting smaller, and there's a pin on the, or a little bit of a pin to the upside. So those are some of the things that I would be cautious about, because once the candles start to get smaller, that means we are losing the momentum. So let's take a look. Price is still bullish, and where do we expect it to go? Okay, pull back for another move higher. All right, let's see if it will do that. Okay, keeps on going. All right, so what do we expect the price to do next? So in this case, I am still looking for a move higher, because that's a nice solid candle close. So looking for it to go higher. Now the candle is getting smaller, so this could even give us a bearish candle after this one. So we need to be mindful of that. Okay, so I'm still looking for it to go and test the next level up. But again, like I said, we could get price to drop. So that's something to keep in mind here. So in this case, so let's take a look. So what I'm looking for now is still move to the upside. Let's see if it will give us that. Okay, kind of going sideways now, hasn't been able to break above. Let's see if we can get a test of this right here. So it still has bullishness in it, but it's starting to go sideways. So now it's neutral. It can go either way. But let's see if we'll get a push to the upside here. Not getting that. So we have a very, very neutral candle close. We have pins on both sides and the small candle body in the middle. So this is like a spinning top, which is an indecision candle. So this may not be the best one to trade, just because we don't have a solid candle close here. So let's wait for the next one. That doesn't do much either. So we just have a bunch of very small candles that don't really show much momentum. So this one could push up higher with the pin on the bottom here. So looking for price to go back into the resistance there. Let's take a look. There we go. Price goes all the way up into resistance. And then we have a large pin on the top here. So now we are into this support and resistance level here. And where do we expect the price to go? Where do we expect the price to go now? Anyone wants to take a guess here? Okay. All right, so what I would look for would be price to potentially test the level, and then we could see a drop from there. So let's see, we have up, we have, oh, sorry, no, we have down. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, price is going sideways. What now? So we're still neutral. So here I would be going up. Okay, let's see if it'll go and test the next level up at 162.96 here. Let's see. Now we got a drop. Okay. All right, so where do we expect the price to go from here? Okay, I would be looking for price to come back into this previous support and resistance level here. So let's see if we can get a drop. Okay, so price drops a bit. What are we expecting it to do now? Go down? Yeah, I would look for price to come into the next support and resistance level. Let's see if it does go down. No, we're just going sideways. Based on this candle close, I would just look for a retest of the high once again. It goes and retests the high and goes all the way to the top and then comes back down here. So we have a bearish engulfing candle close. Yeah, it was all choppy for the last several days here. This was completely choppy, didn't really go anywhere, but I do like this candle close. We have a solid bearish candle close here, which is if you take a look at these candles, they're not very solid candles. They're just small candles, small body, pins everywhere. So not the best ones. But here what I like is that the price tested the high and then dropped from there. And now because we have a bearish candle close, I'm looking for price to drop further. Okay, so it drops into that support level, but it's still small. The candle is small, so we did not get a big follow through. What do we expect now? Okay, so now let's see if we can see price pull back into this 160.50 level, but we could get stuck and move back into the range here, but we are making a lower high. Not quite lower low, but just a lower high. So I'm looking for price to drop into 160.50 level, see if it gets that. Okay, so it doesn't do much, just have a doji, a gravestone doji. So after this, I'm still looking for price to drop back into this support and resistance area. So let's see if we get that. And there we go, it drops. Now, where do we expect the price to go? Okay, let's see. Looking for price to drop. I would be looking for price to drop into this previous support and resistance area, into this level. So let's see if it does that. It doesn't. So now we have a bullish candle close. Okay, so based on this bullish candle close, yeah, it's very choppy. It's just been back and forth all of these days. So the best times that I really like is when price is actually trending. So this is why the trending, when the price is trending, this is when the strategy is really effective. In a trending market, sideways market, this is not the best one to trade from. But in trending markets, this is a good strategy to use. Okay. So the next one we're looking at, we have a bullish candle close here. So looking for price to go higher. Let's take a look. Oh, goes a little bit higher and then drops again. So now we have a bearish candle close. It's just choppy. Okay, let's see if it'll come test the low here. Comes back down, and if it tests the low, let's see. Okay, so here we go, test the lows, breaks through the lows, and we have a solid bearish candle close. So guys, so you're saying it's going to go up because of this support resistance level here. Let's take a look. I am looking for actually, let's see. There we go. So normally what I find is when we get solid candle closes like that, it tends to follow through more. It's when they are not very solid, that's when we get a lot of sideways chops. So let's, okay, where to next? So now we have down. Okay, I'm looking for it to go lower as well. So let's take a look. Goes sideways, still holding below our resistance level here. So it still has the buy. My bias is still bearish. I'm looking for it to come back down into this 159.20 area. So let's take a look. Pulls back up. So this one can pull back up here like this and then still drop. So my bias is not changed completely. So I'm looking for price to move up higher here and then move down. So looking for price to go into this 160.85 area. Let's see if we get that. So here we are, price pulls back a bit more. And now what do we do? So we are into that pullback level, price has dropped, it's pulled back. So at this point, we could still get a drop, but it could go higher into this right into that level. So that's what we have to be careful with. But overall, it doesn't have a huge amount of momentum here yet. So I'm looking for price to move up higher and then give us maybe a reversal. Okay, just go sideways. So at this point, it's completely sideways. So we need to see a move higher. There we are. We closed a bullish. So now that we have closed a bullish, we are into resistance. but the candle body has gotten bigger. And that's a good thing because it shows that there's momentum now. All right, so guy, you're guessing it goes up. So let's take a look. I'm looking for it to go back up here as well into this previous support resistance area. So here we are. Doesn't quite make into the high there, but does go up higher. And now we have pin to pin test. So with this one here, we do have a large pin up top, which means the price could drop from there. So I'd be looking for price to drop. So let's see if we get that. There we go. And a lot of times what you'll find is when we have this type of a scenario, price will go up higher and then drop from there. So generally, if we'll go and test this level once again. So that's exactly the scenario that we have here. Looking now, we have a bearish candle close. So where do we expect for this to go now? So we have a bearish candle close. Price has rejected the resistance level. What are we looking at? Any guesses? Okay, so my take on this will be that I will look for price to drop here. Socrates says down, so let's take a look. I am looking for price to drop as well. So in this one, I'm looking for it to drop. There we go. Shuman, I don't trade every single candle. I only like to trade solid candles. So I would trade this candle here. And with this candle, I would be looking for a selling opportunity into the high. So I do my daily analysis from the daily candlesticks, daily charts here. Then I go to a smaller time frame, and then I would take a trade based on that. But first step is looking for direction. Second step is to find a level to trade from. So we are into the first step here where all we're looking for is direction, and then we'll refine it further, and then we'll look for perfect entry and exits for the strategy. Okay, so now our bias is to the downside. I'm looking for price to come back into the support resistance level. So looking for it to drop. It drops a little bit, doesn't really do much. It just goes sideways. So I'm still looking for it to drop. Here we are. Price drops. We are closing below this previous level here, which is good. So now we always want to make sure to check where we are in regards to the next level of support and resistance. So now here we are into this resistance, which is turning support. Here is our resistance as well. So with this one, we are bearish, but here what I would look for is price to pull back higher and then drop from there. So bias is still bearish. So let's take a look. Guide says down. Let's take a look. Ooh, it pulls back up from the support level here. I was looking for a further move to the downside as well, but these support resistance levels can be quite strong. So now we have a bullish candle close. And now we are back into this resistance again with the previous level. So with this one, I would be careful, but looks bullish. But I would be careful because of the resistance right there. So let's take a look. Okay, now we are looking quite bullish at this point. I will look for price to go into the high here. And it gets stuck right there. So based on that candle close, Shuman says up. Let's take a look. We are back down into this from this previous support and resistance level. So we're just kind of chopping back and forth. If we take a look here, so now I'm looking for price to drop here, drop further first here. I'm looking into 1.5975 area. Okay, pulls back. Let's see if it'll still drop. And it wants to pull back higher based on this. Up, yeah, I will look for bullishness too. There we are. And now we are getting a doji, and we are into the next level of support and resistance here. So at this point, what do we expect the price to do? Okay, so for this one, I'm looking for it to drop. So just like this one, price had problems here. So I'm looking for price to drop. Let's see if we get that. There we go. Nice big solid candle close to the downside. So now we have down. Yeah, I would look for a down here. There we go. What next? Okay, I will look for another move to the downside. Let's see if we get that. Doesn't do much. Still looking for a down move. Okay, so now we have a bearish pin bar. Where do we expect it to go now? Okay, so at this point, I would be looking for a move to the downside. There we are. Doesn't quite make it all the way down, but regardless, it does push us down and then closes in the middle. So we have a completely indecision, completely neutral candle here. So this is a spinning top. It's an indecision candle, and price has not been able to break below. All right, so I think we will call it a wrap here. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. So the first thing, and this is something that I do on a daily basis as a part of the trade room, one of the things that we do is the daily market analysis call. And the market analysis call is essentially about this type of a stuff. So we're looking for price to go back and forth, and we are looking based on how the candles close. We're looking for price to, or we're looking to take trades. Shuman, my wine collection is only one bottle so far, so I have to get my process down and make sure I'm following all my process rules. And when I get full marks in my process, only then can I add to my collection. So I have some work to do there. So Guy, what do you mean what the daily is on? So the daily market analysis is a Zoom link. So you will get that link. So I should say, as everybody or anybody who joins the trade room will get that link. So Skype is the group, and I usually post a link for the call in the Skype group. Yes, but you'll be able to see that in the Skype room. All right, so we'll call it a wrap for today, and I'll be back again tomorrow. So if you guys want to play the guessing game, so come join me tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you tomorrow.